Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is Blu-ray Maniac coming at you on the Horoscope channel. This is going to be going up kind of late today, but it is going up. The theme for this week, unfortunately, by the way, I wasn't able to do a video last week, but I am going to be doing a video today for sure. By the way, there's going to be a lot of other changes on my regular channel as well. A big update about plans for my channel and so on and so forth. Some new things I'll be doing. But as for this channel, this collaboration, this week's theme is Indie Horror Week, which I believe that basically means independent horror. And to tell you the truth, I don't really, I don't really have a whole lot of independent or indie horror titles in my collection. I like mainstream horror, but I also like things that aren't mainstream as well. But even with that being said, I don't have a whole lot of independent horror in my collection. Halloween, the first one, started out as an independent horror film, but as you can tell, that turned into a very large franchise. I started looking through my collection, and the movie that I picked, I know I've done this particular movie for other topics for this same channel in the past. And to tell you the truth, that's the beauty about this movie I'm about to talk about. It covers various topics within the horror genre, and it is an independent horror film. And before I show you it again, this is one of those movies. It's really good, and like I said, it fits into a lot of categories in the horror genre. It covers a wide range of topics in the horror genre, and I can't say enough about this movie. So it's the movie Dead End. As you can see, the tagline at the top says "Read the Signs." Cover art. Before I get into the movie, I'll tell you a little bit about the cover art. It's basically a hearse with a dude in the back with his hands on the window, and the hearse is supposed to be driving away from us at a pretty high speed. So, this is the back. A few things about the back. It says winner Best International Feature Film at the Fantasia Montreal Jury, the Fantasia Montreal Jury Prize, and also winner Audience Award and Jury Prize, Brussels International Fantasy Film Festival. And then it says Real White Knuckle Fear Creature Corner.com, and 4 Skull and Crossbones out of 5 BloodyDisgusting.com. And it says on the back here, it's Christmas Eve, and like every year, the Harringtons take a trip to their in-laws to celebrate the holidays. Taking an unfamiliar shortcut, Mr. Harrigan makes the biggest mistake of his life, leading his family down a terror-filled road with no end. This film is, like I said, an independent film presented by Captain Movies and Sagittaire, I think it's Sagittaire or Sagittary Films, in association with Studio Canal France. So, and it's directed by Jean Baptiste Andrea. I may have totally butchered that name, but you can look him up. And also Fabrice Canepa. So anyway, I'm going to leave a link to the IMDB page for this particular movie in the description, so you can go and and look all this stuff up if you want. So it's a French made film and it's really good. It has American actors in it though, and in the U.S. it was distributed by Lionsgate. Um, but basically, the reason I say that this movie falls into so many different categories as far as horror, this was the perfect pick for this theme this week for me, because it's one of those scary movies that it takes place on Christmas Eve. So right away, you get an interesting contrast. It's a horror film, but it takes place during Christmas time. And as the description says, there's this family. Um, the mother is played by Lynn Shay. Lynn Shay is married to Robert Shay. I believe he's the executive producer or producer of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise movies, and she's been in movies like Kingpin, Insidious, and a few others. She's the mother, and then you have Ray Wise plays the dad. Ray Wise was in the original RoboCop from 1987. I don't remember his character's name, but he had the really thick black curly hair. When you see his face in the movie Dead End, you'll recognize him from that movie if you're familiar with RoboCop. So basically, this family, they go, they're going to their in-laws for Christmas Eve dinner celebration, yada yada, and they usually take the interstate, I think, and anyway, the dad, he's kind of bored with it because they always take that route to get to the in-laws, and he decides this year he's going to take a slightly different route. Only problem is it's a route that he's never used before, so he's a little unfamiliar with it. And long story short, they get into a near car crash. They almost crash. And after that, some really weird stuff starts happening. Basically, they just keep driving and driving because they're no matter what happens, they keep driving and driving, and they keep passing the same landmarks, the same. There's a cabin on the side of the road and some road signs and whatnot. And I know it sounds weird, but basically they keep driving in the same direction, but they keep passing all the same stuff. It's like they're not going anywhere. They keep passing the same place over and over and over again, and they start getting really paranoid and freaking out, and that's bad enough. But then seems like just about every time they stop the car and get out to try and figure out what's going on, one of the members of their group in their car disappears, or vanishes. Like there's the mother, the father, and then they have an older daughter that's like in her 20s, and then they have a teenage son. He's about 16, 17, something like that. And then the daughter's boyfriend, and he's in his 20s. So altogether you have 5 people in the car, and the first one to disappear is the boyfriend. I forgot one very vital, important piece of the plot. They stop along the side of the road, and this young woman in a white dress randomly shows up next to their car. Like, they were turned looking the other way, and all of a sudden they turn around and this girl standing by the driver door of the car. And so she doesn't say much at all. She has like a cut on her forehead, and she looks like she's been hurt or something, and she's carrying a baby that's wrapped up in a blanket. And Anyway, I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens with that, but let's say after they run into this mysterious woman in white, that's when these people start disappearing. Every time they stop, someone disappears. First, the boyfriend disappears, and then I think the son is the next one to disappear, and it just goes on and on from there. And if I tell you some other things, it'll give away too much, and you'll figure the plot out just like that. But it's a mind bender. It's a very suspenseful, on the edge of your seat kind of movie. Way the hell better than any non-independent horror film I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong, I love Friday the 13th. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Um, you know, Scream movies. I mean, you can think of all these different horror franchises, but for me, it has to be this one. This is my go-to horror film. Anytime anyone ever asks me for a recommendation, this is the one I recommend because most people have not heard of it. It is really, really good, and if you just give it a chance, it'll blow your freaking mind, and that's not an understatement. It's a movie that makes you question things like what is true love, what is if you're the religious type, what is the real definition of forgiveness, um, and how important forgiveness is to a person's life. And it also makes you think about every family. I don't care who you are, every family has their skeletons in their closet, their little thing. If all families put on this facade for the public eye, this outward image, but in truth every family has something that they are not too proud of, or something that happened in the family that they try to keep secret, or whatever. Every family has their skeletons in their closet, and this movie deals with that very idea about could you forgive someone for something they may have done wrong to you or someone else, and also just like I said, if I say too much, if you see the movie, you'll get what I'm getting at. But it's a really good movie, and the one thing I will say is this: you've all heard the old ghost story legend about the people driving on the road, the dark road at night, and then they pick up this real pretty girl in a white dress, and they find out that she's actually a ghost, or they turn around to ask her something, but then she's not in the back seat anymore, that kind of thing. That's the kind of story that this movie tries to tell. Now, you might think, oh god, he just gave it all away. No, I didn't, because, yeah, I mean, you figure out the woman in white is a ghost, but there's so many other things that happen in this movie that I could sit here and talk about it all day. But I was literally blown away by this movie. It is probably the best horror film I've ever seen. I know that's a bold statement, but coming from an independent film category, definitely probably one of the best independent horror films out there. And I know this video is kind of long, but it is really good. I don't remember exactly what the rating system my friend James came up with on his channel. I think it was either avoid it, consider it, or highly recommended, I think. Something. It was a three different ratings, and I'm gonna more or less borrow that rating system from him, if he doesn't mind, and I will say definitely this is not an avoid it. This is not a consider it. This is most definitely a recommended. If you are a horror fan and you like spooky ghost tales and things like that, definitely pick this up. It is really worth it. You can get it on eBay for around $9 or $10 because it's not a very well known movie. I hardly ever hear anybody talking about it. And the people that have given it bad reviews clearly don't understand the idea or the concept presented in the movie. And it's got a really good twist ending as well. So anyway, check out this movie if you haven't seen it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week on Friday. Take care of yourselves and keep it scary.